Well, again, this is my second proper vlogging, and why I'm saying proper vlogging, because I'm just purely talking to the camera. There's not going to be any kind of fancy transitions and some kind of effects, probably some wording behind me, and that's all. Even though I quite like it and I enjoy it, it's just I want to talk to my future self. So, because I really mean it, in 1 year time, 2 year time, I just want to go back and watch these videos, see how miserable sometimes I feel, but I want to say to myself, well done, you did it. But anyway, today it's 16th of January and it is 16 days since I stopped drinking alcohol. The beginning was quite challenging in terms of I was struggling to go to sleep. I was not having very restful sleep, and I think it was all here because of the habit and because I convinced myself over time that I need drink to be able to fall asleep, not realizing how badly it's affecting my sleep anyway. My laptop just turned off. So I just needed to battle or to fight with the habit. But thankfully to my husband, or thanks to my husband, he did help me a lot, and I feel much better. I do take magnesium supplements for better sleeping, and it does do magic to me. So I feel much better. I started sleeping more. I started forcing myself to sleep more, because up to now I've been sleeping for about 4 or 5 hours, because for some reason I convinced myself I need to work 20 hours a day. So because I was working evening time, I still work, but I'll go back to this. As a delivery driver, evening time, daytime, I work on my business and on my agency. It was like I need to do so many stuff because I'm a single man business, so I do everything. So I ended up sleeping like 4 hours a day, but didn't realize that actually that doesn't help me because I'm not focused. I don't do anything properly. Some days I went up like I felt extremely exhausted by doing so many things, and analyzing them, it's like I haven't achieved anything because I've been so swapping in between topics, email, then start emailing email, or start replying to some emails, then going back to quotations. Someone will text me or comment, then completely forgot for the previous task, and it's just like, oh my god. So sleeping more than 4 hours does help a lot, which is quite good. I did have a couple of rough days, which was not very nice, but it is what it is at the end of the day. But the main thing is I didn't go back to alcohol, even though I was super stressed. I could not see any kind of getting out of the situation. I didn't go back to alcohol. And one of the reasons, how to say, I did find a second job, which is a good thing. So now I have 2 delivery driver jobs, which are evening time. So daytime I can focus on my business, and we'll see. Those 2 jobs should be able to help me cover all my bills, so I don't rely on my husband. But as of now, it's very early days, so I can't really say for sure. But when I was desperate, when I realized my driving license expired and I cannot work until I have my new driving license, that was devastating for me, and I was crying for hours, and I could not figure it out how I'm gonna manage, how I'm gonna pay my bills, what I'm gonna do, and it was devastating. But these are money, and should not really take my time of crying and my mental health. And days like this, I'm going back to my childhood, and I want to share something because it is a story that all the time I remind myself when I'm getting to these kind of positions and I cannot figure it out how to get out, and I'm crying. Normally I go back to this story because it's very, very, very close to me. When I was a student at the university, when I was year 2 of my study, bear in mind I've been one of the top students at school, and going to university education was a big shock for me because it was much harder than school, which is, I mean, as of now I will say to my son, well, tough, you need to deal with that. But back then it was shocking for me. Anyway, so I had an exam. I don't remember, I think was I think was math or something, I don't really remember. But I will say fair grades, just because different countries have different grades. In Bulgaria it's 2 to 6, 2 is fail, 6 is excellent. So at this case, I received 3, which means I passed, but not good enough. So I went back home absolutely furious, and I was so angry at myself, and I was crying, and I was explaining to my mom how miserable I feel and how I could do that. I need to do better, I need to study better. And then she told me a story, because my dad was kind of down, and I was asking my mom what's wrong with my dad. And she told me a story. So friend of his daughter has some kind of disabilities, to the extent that she cannot feed herself, she cannot move, she cannot communicate, only with her eyes pretty much, and that's it. For about a week, she's been suffering, and she's been having very high temperature. And at the end, they managed to understand the temperature was coming from broken rib and infection, which is severe pain, extreme pain, and that girl could not communicate and share her pain, and that is slowly going to be fatal in extreme agony. And when my mom told me that, what crossed my mind was, and I'm crying for a grade. I mean, people out there are suffering physically, mentally, or not having anywhere to live, or a lot of bad things happen in their family, or being in an abusive relationship or family, and I'm crying for a grade. And when I remember that story, I all the time feel super bad, because that day when I recorded the video of me realizing my driving license expired, I was crying, and I was crying for hours. I was devastated because I did not know how I'm going to pay my bills. But then all the time I remember this story, and it just straight away I'm coming out of my fear or my brain, and I'm thinking, stop. I mean, that's horrendous. You will earn this money, you will get your license. It might be a bit struggle, but is my family well? They are well. Everybody's well around me. I don't have anything dramatically happen in my life or across my family members or the people I love. Do I have roof over my head? I do have roof over my head. Do I have even my car? For some people, my car is a luxury. I do have my car. For some people, my phone is a luxury. My laptop is a luxury. My second screen is a luxury. Why on earth I'm doing this to myself, to cry for things, over things like this, when people are actually facing and battling much worse things? And some of them will even smile and say, well, it is what it is. And I admire this, absolutely admire. So yeah, everything is here. I've really set my goals for this year, because I want to change my life, and I want to change the way I look at or I view the world. I want to change my mindset and everything. I did start shifting my mindset, but unfortunately, up until now, there is some kind of problems which are rooted in my head, and they're just pulling me down and dragging me down, and I cannot get out. But I'm determined. I can't read it. Don't know how to use that word. Determined, I think. You might correct me if I don't mind being corrected. To break these roots and to get out of this, because life is short, world is beautiful. Sometimes I need to remind myself to lift my head up and look at the sky, and it is beautiful. But we tend to forget about this. And yeah, so I set up a lot of challenges. Some of them is my social media, because I need to grow my social media, because unfortunately, since I started my business, I didn't look after my social media, and this is the only way I can actually grow my business, because I don't have huge amount of network. I don't have money to pay paid adverts or something, so I need to grow it organically, which is this way, not here, of course, my business social media. But I've already seen how I can do this for other people free of charge, because I've been doing it for other people free of charge, and I grew the social media organically, which means I can do this for myself. The only thing I need to really kind of break is my fear to do all of this, to talk in front of the camera and to feel confident, because I'm a foreigner. But this is me. I have been talking in Bulgarian for 25 years and not using any kind of English language. I came to England with 1% knowledge of what I'm, not knowledge, 1% of be able to talk the now. And I still do a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of mistakes over this video, and I will be doing mistakes because it's not my native language. I learned it for the last 6-7 years. I'm improving, so I will improve over time, but not to be my native language at the end of the day, because it's not. But I need to stop worrying about this, because at the end of the day, this is behind the social media, this is behind the email. It's me. If someone wants to call me, this is what they're gonna hear: my voice, my pronunciation, my grammar mistakes, and absolutely everything. So it is. And now I need to brace myself because I'm going live. And yes, hopefully you spotted I'm more positive today, and I want to stay like that. And I'm sick and tired feeling sorry for myself doing nothing, because all my business, all my future goals depends on me. They don't depend on anyone else. And I will be changing this with a positive attitude, because I'm positive. Not all the time, but I am positive. Anyway, this is my second vlog, proper vlog. And yeah, I believe that next year I will look again this vlog and I will say, you sound really bad, but you did it. You made it. Hopefully. Have a good day. I don't know where you are, but here in Norfolk, UK, it's a bit grey. Sun is trying to get out. It's still a bit wet, but I can't complain. At the end of the day, it's what, 16th of January. It can't be really 30 degrees, even though if I want to. So yeah, have a good day.